Hey guys, it's Kizer here, and welcome back to Kamen Rider Battride War Genesis. And as of last time, as we saved Decade, if I would hurry myself along, this time we are going to save Agito. And as you know how we started this since part 2, the small bit of information here.
未確認生命体対策班を設立し調査を行っていた。ある夜、豹のようなアンノウンが現れ、猟奇的な殺人を行う。通報を聞いて駆けつけた G3 氷川誠だったが、アンノウンの恐るべき力に圧倒され、G3 は機能停止寸前にまで追い込まれる。絶対的な危機の中、彼が見たものは。 闇の中で金色色に輝く謎の戦士だった。
You know, I gotta admit, the hardest part with these videos is always the translating, considering next week I haven't even finished that, and that's still got a heavy load of editing to do. And this is Kamen Rider Agito. Now, Agito also is one of the many riders with multiple forms, although he doesn't have like a shit ton like today's riders do. But as a beginning Heisei rider, he does have a few to activate, in which his default form here is ground form. Which, you know, as I always do, show off the basic combos and special abilities. As with that being his rider kick, his rider punch. And then here we have flame. Old Agito flame form, which uses a sword. And I know I'm sadly getting my ass kicked, but I'm trying to demonstrate each of the abilities. And then we have Storm Form, which uses a halberd. A double-bladed staff, how about that? In which that was Agito Trinity, which he uses all three forms at once, but unfortunately it's only a rush attack, so you only get to use it there. And this is Shining, his ultimate form. He does have one more before this called Burning Form, however, Agito needs to be leveled up more before the game will allow you to use it. And Agito's pretty cool because all the riders in that show are supposed to be, well, except for G3. Any rider that's not exactly like Agito in the show, they're slightly psychic. I mean, if you want more on that detail, you gotta look it up. Because it's been a while since I've seen Agito. But now, we're gonna go save him, and I am going to talk about his enemies, known as, well, the Unknown. Well, they're actually called Lords, but the police department actually calls them Unknown to separate them from the Grongi, because Agito actually takes place 2 years after Kuga. Kamen Rider Maha! I like Maha, he ain't bad. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Unknown, or as they say lords, but I'm going to keep calling them unknown anyway. The unknown are a group of powerful disciples serving under the overlord who created them from his body. Refer to the police department as the unknown to refer them from the identified life forms that attacked humanity 2 years ago. In fact, according to books and many encyclopedias about Kamen Rider Agito, sorry about that. Oh yeah. The lords are actually of the Linto tribe that battled the Grongi in the past before Kuga, defeating them, thus linking the lords to the Linto as humanity's protectors. All lords are human-like with the head of the animal whose tribe they belong to. All of them have a wing-shaped protuberance sticking out of their shoulder, possibly referring to their existence as either angels or holy messengers, as they target survivors of the Akatsuki incident, which I do have that pulled up, in which the Akatsuki is a ship where the Overlord of Light's spirit mysteriously appeared to personally give the seat of Agito to the passengers aboard. After blessing them with the power, the ship was attacked by the L of Water sent by the Overlord of Darkness, and feared his brother would grant the Agito seat to the passengers. The L fought Tatsuya Sawaki, who awakened as the second Agito, but he is the main Agito of the show. But it's not till later that we find out that his sister was actually the first person to become Agito in the show, but Tetsuya is technically the main rider that we follow through it. But anyway, they end up fighting and ultimately throws him into the ocean. And while he had been unable to defeat the L Lord, Agito had held him off long enough for Makoto Hikawa, as you read the information earlier, who later becomes G3, to see a storm coming, overcoming the Akatsuki boat, and jump in the water to save possible survivors, to manage to save everyone but Tetsuya, who was declared lost at sea. From that point on, the lives of the blessed passengers would suffer deep and particular changes as they crossed paths throughout the series. Pretty much because of that, anyone on that ship could eventually become Agito. And again, with the unknown, holy messengers who target the survivors of the Akatsuki incident, as they and other humans possess a form of psychic power that mark them as having the potential to become Agito. When they murder that certain type of person, they commit a ritual by using their hands, saying that they want permission to sin. At the same time, a halo would appear over their heads. Every one of them had their own unique way of murdering. For example, leaving the corpse in a tree, dissolving the human, drawing the human to death, changing the human into sand, pulling the human into the ground, dragging the human into the air, drop them, vaporizing, etc. Killing a normal human is considered a taboo, with a penalty of death. When a lord is killed, a halo normally materializes over their heads before they explode. Which, again, I can't remember if I said this before, but this still does confirm my theory, is that Kamen Riders and the monsters that they fight are all technically using the same powers. Because apparently, Agito is a warrior of light, the monsters are holy angels of the light. There's Deno, everyone there is time traveling. O's, everyone's using the power of greed. So it does kind of confirm that, but still. Which is actually kind of weird because the main bosses here, actually, hold on. Oh yeah, well, the Lords also existed in the AR world of Agito, which was the decayed version, in which they were fought by the police department's Kamen Rider G3 in alternate Exceed guilds, and then the perfected Kamen Rider Agito, Soichi, Ashikawa. They target any humans with abilities above normal or any threat to humanity, deeming themselves as humanity's holy protectors. They were also part of Dai Shocker. But anyway, another thing is that Tetsuya actually has amnesia the whole most of the show. There are a few moments to where he gets his memories back, and those are the only few times. That only happens twice, and those are the only 2 times we ever get to see Agito use Trinity. It's only when he has his memories back does he somehow have access to Trinity, which is slightly weird considering the only time he had his powers when he had his memories while was on the boat. I don't know how to explain that. I guess shitty writing. They just wanted to throw another form in there, and they didn't know exactly how to explain that one. I mean, there is technically a considerable amount of time between when the show starts and when technically the whole incident that creates the Agito's thing starts. So it's all kind of weird there. I do plan to try and put out a video where you can find each and every single figure. So if I have to, if I miss any during the initial playthrough here, I will mark down exactly where they come from. And we have now unlocked Akito to play as. And then next week we finish this saving route by saving Kuga. But as you know, guys, this is never ended here, so you know what you need to. You need to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below what you guys think, because we can't change Zach until you tell us how. And so, this has been Kizer. Sayonara!